Would you please join with me in prayer? Lord Jesus, you were tempted by the devil, and you remained true to your Father in heaven, who commanded his angels to watch over you. Guard us from the plague of sin, from all those things that distract us from you, so that we may remain faithful to you. Amen. Dear friends in Christ, grace be unto you and peace from God our Creator, Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. I think it's interesting, this passage from Luke 4, how much easier it would have been for Jesus to give in to the devil, to give in to that easy way out. There are so many things that call our attention away from focusing on God, from focusing our attention on our life of faith. So many things that tempt us. We don't talk temptation except when it comes to things like chocolate and all that kind of stuff. And if you were here on Wednesday, you could hear me that I finally gave up something for Lent, and it was spider solitaire, and yes, I'm still hanging in there. Goofy little things. Things that I tend to multitask, so I would listen to the news and play spider solitaire. So now I'm listening to the news and doing something else, clipping coupons, taking a nap, whatever. But there are so many things that get in the way of really focusing our life of faith. It would have been so much easier, we know, had Jesus gave in to the temptation. How much easier it is to take that easy way out. Temptation is hard. It may loom up quickly for something important in your life. It may be a forced choice between good and evil. It might be simple as what something is right and wrong, and we know the difference. But no matter what, we all deal with temptation all the time. And we know that it is hard. Temptation has two main focuses, two primary meanings in the Bible. First of all, it is that inward prompting or enticement, being lured into sin, which we are consciously aware of. So it's seen as the devil's work, or the work of the world, or our own inward and inborn, deep down desire to sin. It's just part of who we are. And the second sense of the word temptation in the Bible means a time of trial or testing. And it refers to those times, those circumstances in life which test a person. It tests their faith and their courage and their resolution. It may honor life and build character. So often both of these meanings are present at the same time. So we'll see both of those in when we see temptation in the Bible. So this story of Jesus in the wilderness, this time of temptation, reminds us of all those challenges that play out in our life today. There are only two people, two characters in this story. We have Jesus in the wilderness, and we have the devil. And so this dialogue is very interesting and almost a little scary. Because again, 40 days, it would be hard. 40 days without any food? Boy, oh boy, that's hard. So these temptations, the first one is about serving oneself. The devil knows that Jesus is hungry. Jesus, turn this stone into bread. You can do it. And Jesus says, what? You know this story. Man does not live by bread alone. But we know that if we were hungry, a piece of bread would be important. That encounter between Jesus and the serpent, the devil, the serpent, the tempter, begins with Jesus fasting there for 40 days. And we know how hard that would be. The second of the temptations is for power. Jesus' focus is on saving others and not about asserting his own worldly power. He's not in it for the glory that people will give to his name if he's able to do things. But that's what the devil has said to him. I can give you all this. But Jesus says, no, I'm not interested in that. And then that third one is really a lot more unnerving, I think. It's that temptation of going to a high point and just kind of testing God. It's much scarier than the idea of a 2-year-old who climbs up really high because they're clueless about really what could happen to them. Jesus knows, but the devil says if you go to the pinnacle of this place and jump, the angels are going to protect you because it says there, especially in Psalm 91, that's the one we read this morning. We have that temptation to test the angels and their ability to take care of things. So we know that these temptations are growing and growing and growing. Some of the temptations are easy for us to understand, but that last one is a struggle for us. It does seem like a potential leap of faith, but Jesus makes it clear that we cannot expect to have God on our own terms. We cannot expect that God's just going to bail us out because we've decided to take a leap that we ought not be taking. To tempt God in the highest spiritual enticement. Using the Bible in a way as a club against the neighbor is tempting enough. But even more so, more tempting is that sentimental view that God is to take, that the view of God to take for granted that divine blessing to do whatever we do or want to do or say. So we don't have the freedom, which is a temptation enough. We don't have the freedom just to pull out these Bible verses to club and whack somebody over the head. It's interesting. One of the things I thought was really interesting when in studying and listening to my colleagues was the idea that Jesus uses those Bible passages not to deflect the devil, but instead to use the Bible, those Bible passages, really not so much for the sake of the devil, but for the sake of himself. That comfort, that surrounding, that, putting that spiritual wall up. I've talked a couple times in the last few months about finding a passage or finding a verse and kind of claiming it as your own. This is the day the Lord has made, let us rejoice and be glad in it. My love of pulling out specific scripture to cling on to be your go-to verse when things are tough or when things are great. This is the day the Lord has made. We can't go back and redo yesterday. We don't know about tomorrow. There are no guarantees for tomorrow. But we have this day which the Lord has made. It is a favorite of mine, one of many. But how do you use Bible verses in your life? And do you have one that you claim as your own? I was thinking that it might be even helpful, if you haven't done it yet this far, I've said it now for about 6 weeks, about getting a Bible verse. And if you need some help finding one, I can help you out there and would be happy to. But to put it on a note card or a piece of paper or a Post-it note or whatever works well in your life, if you're a techie person, you can have it pop up as your screensaver on your computer or whatever. But to have it come up and to write it out so it is your go-to, a reminder that it's not about you. You're not responsible for the whole picture, but that we're part of God's people and God's plan. So Jesus doesn't use these verses to club Satan, but he uses it to remind himself that he is God's son. I invite you to think about that and to challenge you to think about hanging on to a Bible verse in a way that would help you out. I love the passage from Romans. The word is near you, on your lips and in your heart. And I was thinking about how that plays into this, how Jesus is able to turn, and yes, we know he's God's son. He has good connections. But friends, we do too. We have those good connections because we have been named and claimed as God's own in our baptism. And so we too have been given promises to carry us through. Temptations all around. It can be simple little things like being tempted to, go up to your little sister and scream, "Ah!" That's a temptation. Okay, most of you wouldn't do that right now. You don't have little sisters at home, but I was thinking that we have a couple people who have little sisters at home. Maybe it's, I don't know, whatever your temptations are each day. Maybe you struggle with diabetes and you just really want something that is going to throw your blood sugar off, and you're going to deal with it later on because it will throw you off that way. But whatever it is, we have temptation that we deal with in life. Things that get in the way of our relationship with God, and ultimately it gets in the way of our relationship with others when we are trying so hard to be in control. And sometimes it's just so difficult for us to trust. That's the other piece of this. What the devil is planting with each of these is just a little seed of mistrust. And the power of mistrust in our lives, it's that, boy, are you sure God did that? Are you sure God doesn't want you to have food? You could turn this stone into bread. God gave me authority over this. It could be yours. Just follow me. Or the angels will protect you. It's that little bit of doubt that gets placed in there. And that's maybe what our temptations are. That doubt that God even is aware of who we are in this world. That doubt that maybe our loved ones really truly love us for who we are. Whatever it may be, whatever it is in our life that we need to have turned, that's the challenge for us. That's the Bible verse that maybe you need to cling on to. That's our journey through these 40 days of Lent. Letting go of those things that get in the way and clinging to the promises we have in Christ Jesus our Lord. Amen.